Hello all, Todd here again with a new video, and I want to do a video on my idea of stories and how they kind of complement or coincide with another idea for this channel that I've been working on, is the idea of the samurai. Now, samurai, like most warriors, had lived a life of constant combat where there was no shaking hands, there was no bowing. There's just pure expression of war and combat, physical combat, and that's the reason I like BJJ a lot, because it's from the what happens if you lost, a samurai lost their tools, their weapons, and was stuck with one chance, one movement, and then they did it, and they bet everything on it, and I promise you there's some moves that turn into go from normal to lethal very, very poignantly. But what I'm trying to cover is the aspects of the samurai. You see, the samurai had a special way of doing things when it came to art and expression. They weren't just warriors, they were poets, flower arrangers, the bonsai tree, the ideas of fate and philosophy, calligraphy, poetry, drawing, so many things. Heck, my hero, Musashi, wrote books like myself. And his belief in the individual being right, society being wrong, and society suffering is held throughout this channel. You see, my first two books, the one I'm reworking, the one I'm working on now, Looking Inwards for a Better Life and Don't Become Prey, subtitles, the deeper meaning, Howl from the Heart, Roar from the Soul, kind of are my versions of Book of Five Rings and my favorite book by Musashi as the long moment of life I've come to know, Dokoto, The Art of Walking Alone, which has saved my life. I'm not even joking. It actually inspired my first book with precepts and, I guess, quotes that I really like. I actually have in my wallet, I carry a copy of them just to be safe, just so I can be reminded, go back to that core, that cornerstone of my core. And yeah, I don't know. I think we gotta find what we gotta do. And the reason I do poetry, stories, YouTube, I'm not really a good drawer. I draw a little bit, very few things I'm capable of. I'm much more of a talker than a chalker, to say the least. But you see, they found more of themselves in each facet of different art forms, what they do, what they learn, what they live. It just proves that through their dedication, because they're not just known as warriors. They have to be known as more like a diamond, the facets, the different points of being, different points of purpose. Each fractal revealing a new, deeper layer to the core that the light passes through, a prism, a purpose, which has been my main goal for this channel. And I'm working on making it better. Because again, I use AI, but it's not to make a product. Okay, that's too easy. That's too simple. And I have some ideas how that could already be done, but I don't want to turn this into like a money thing, like straight up. I'd like to just have fun and use it as like marketing for my other stuff that could lead to money. Because, you see, I took my books and they're going to be the core, each one a nucleus that can connects to each other, forming, I guess, the realms of philosophy and meaning on this channel. My art, everything will spring forth from the books. Each one a different well, a different source, a body of water in my mind that I've tried to pluck out and put together. Now, I don't know how many books I want to write. I have started about a dozen. I like writing short stories. Lets me flex my fiction and nonfiction skills even more. And that's the one thing I don't think AI could do, is fantasy. It's the chink in the armor. It's the gap, so to speak. It's like it can create a lot, but it can't fill it with anything meaningful, because I've read AI stories. I actually bought a book not knowing it was AI, and it was very crazy. I could talk about that in another video. But at the end of the day, it just doesn't have that rhythm, doesn't have those beats, pitches. It's a symphony of mediocrity, which is something when I say, and people usually will make their call something their baby, I've noticed their midwives mediocrity, and I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to throw my ideas out there. They get beat up, they get torn apart, they get ripped apart, and I make them up better. I fill in the holes, I bandage them, I heal them, I triage them, I try to bring them back to a fictional form, something that's more capable of conveying my message and meanings. Again, this is all an experiment. And again, using thumbnails and all that and trying to get more into it. Because people still are starved for stories. That is the main point of this whole channel. People are starved for a lot of things. Again, I can make a whole couple videos on that idea alone. But the idea is that stories are human. Stories have no control, no owner. And that's why I've been writing about my fantasy story of Sultan of Stories, which does have AI, science fiction, and fantasy in it. It's very different from any book I've ever written. And I'll give you guys a hint. I have the money moment, the money shot in my head. And all I do to get from that point to that point is connect it. Like, I always have the end is built in the beginning with my stuff. I start off my first book with an idea, a core, and then branching it out so people could see it. It started off a few ways, and I kind of start off from society to the self. And this next book, Don't Become Prey, is all about the self. And I believe Sultan of Stories would be about the story of the self. Our own dynamic motivation, our discipline, our own story. No one else can tell it for us. No one else can create it or generate it. It's us. Everything we do is another sentence into the rough draft of life, which, I don't know, right? My first book kind of did a lot of damage to me, but I think it broke something in a good way, which is just a concept I usually hit upon in my second book. So yeah, I want you all to be along the ride. Again, I start using thumbnails a lot more that may lessen the videos, but not the quality. I might go from 6 rambling videos, something more concrete that justifies the image thesis I made when I put out the thumbnail. But we'll see. Again, this is all an experiment. This is all an idea, an alchemy of ideas. I'm not trying to waste your time with weaker stories, weaker creators. I throw out the most I can with what I got. And they may not be great, they are honest, for better or worse. And sometimes a story hurts me. Let's put it that way. That's a whole other video idea, but a story hurts me. It can hurt anybody, good or bad. So there's that. So I thank you, like, subscribe, have a nice day, and we'll see you along for the ride.